Hi everyone, my name's Laura and I'm the Carpe Diem Stitcher, so called because I've got so much to sew and so little time to do it in. So welcome back to my channel if you're a regular viewer, and welcome to my channel if you're new here. I hope you enjoy my content. So today is going to be a Friday Sews at Twixtmas, so just a little bit of a life update on what I got for Christmas on the sewing front. And then I thought I'd just mention some plans for the upcoming week, because I'm very lucky and I don't have to go back to work until January the 9th. So I've kind of had a few thoughts about what I'm going to get up to on the sewing front between now and then. So I last filmed on the 11th of December, which seems ages ago, and then didn't get a chance to film again before I went up north to visit and stay with one of my relatives, and sadly also go to the funeral of the one who passed away in November. And I didn't get any time really to sew, though I did finish cutting out the lining on my jacket just before I went, and I'll show you that later in the video. I did do a very little bit of sewing on Boxing Day. I had this fabric in my stash, and I've had it in my stash since I think about November 2019 and never used it. And every year I've said I'm going to make a Christmas dress or a Christmas sweater with this, and I never have. And okay, I didn't get it done in time for Christmas, but on Boxing Day I did get most of a dress sewn up. So this is where I am at. So you see, got the sleeves on, front and back joined, and this is the Nina Lee South Bank sweater dress, which you'll know if you follow me regularly that I've made before in a kind of tie-dye ponte. And I've also made the top. I made the top for Sew Yellow for Endo, so I made version 2 for Sew Yellow for Endo, and I'm doing another one of the dress now. And I'd been thinking for ages I was going to make the Tilly and the Buttons Cocoa, and then I thought, no, I'll do this one because it's got bands, so it's going to save me faffing about and hemming, and I've just got to put the bands on. So I'm hoping that I can do that while this video is downloading onto my laptop for editing. So fingers crossed I'll get that done today. So that's great. And if I do, I'll pop some twirls in or a picture of me or something at the end of the video. So that's what I've been up to. Christmas presents. If you got some sewing Christmas presents, I'd love to hear about them. So please pop a message in the comments down below. I know I owe a few of you from the last video a reply, and I will get to doing that this week now that things have calmed down a bit after Christmas. So I only got 2 actual physical sewing related Christmas presents. First one is this, which is a seam roller. And I know that these are more commonly used by people who do quilting, so less so maybe by dressmakers. But I thought it might be handy to have one for when I really don't want to get up and use the iron every 5 minutes. But yeah, so I got a seam roller. The second thing I got, I'd been wondering about trying bag making, but I wanted to do it with a kit, to do it for the first time, rather than to try and have to get all the notions and things separately. And so I asked, well, I'd mentioned this to my husband, and he very kindly bought me this kit by Sally Tomato, and it's called the commuter bag. So you can see it's black with this tan pocket on the front and a tan handle. Now, what I'm going to do in a second is tilt the camera down so that you can see inside the box. I have, as you can see, I've just undone it, but I haven't actually opened it. I don't know what it looks like inside at all. I thought I'd save that and do that live, so to speak, on air. So I'm going to open that. I'll pause this, and then I will re-angle the camera so you can see inside and we can have a look together. Okay. So I've had a bit of a rummage and worked out roughly what I've got. So it all comes in this plastic, excuse the rustling, all neatly folded up, and then it came, but obviously I've taken these out so I could see what I got. It came with the pattern cover, and on the back it's got all the measurements of how much you need, which is really useful because obviously if I make this again I might want to buy the amounts separately, and it's got really good information about the different types of material you could use. Though I think this company comes from the, yes, made in the United States, so it may be that I'll have to do a bit of research onto UK equivalents. So yes, and then you've got the pattern itself. So it gives you, it looks like the instructions are quite clear. So it tells you what to cut, and also, yeah, how to do it. Lots of clear diagrams. The one thing I did notice with the pattern pieces is it says it's hard. A lot of them are cut on fold, and it says it can be hard to do this, and it suggests that you actually trace it onto the wrong side, flip it over, and then cut it as one piece. But actually, that one's a bad example because there's only one pattern piece on that page. But for example, here you've got the, which one's that? The lining base, and then you've got the main fabric base on the same piece of paper. So I think what I'll probably do is try to create full-size pattern pieces just by tracing it onto tracing paper, and then I can just put that straight onto my fabric rather than try and draw on the fabric, because I know what I'm like, and I think that might be safer for me. So yeah, so you do, and you do have to trace, because you obviously can't cut it out, or you'd have to photocopy some of the pages to save doing that, because obviously if you cut one out you're going to mess up the one on the other side. So it's a bit like Tilly and the Buttons when they do their pattern pieces. Certainly some of them, the ones in the books, you find that you have to at least trace out. You have to trace them out, because otherwise you'll end up cutting into something on the other side. And of course our friend Bird Magazine, but as they're not huge and there's not many, so that's fine. And then you get the materials. So let me just go back and refer to the list. So you can see I've got a lining fabric, which is that kind of, sorry, it's going to make an awful rattle. That kind of grey, slightly, it's almost like a check design, but it's uneven check. So that's quite nice. It goes with the black of the main bag. And then that is some interfacing, which you use for the lining and the slip pocket if you want. You don't have to interface, but since they've provided it, I probably will. That obviously is the faux leather for the pocket and the straps, and that's the leather, faux leather, sorry, for the main body of the bag. And then just down there you'll see the tip sheets falling across it. But there is, if I just put my hand in, sorry, very rustly. There is a magnetic clasp that goes to fasten the bag at the top, and then at the back you've got fusible batting, which I think is this, and then you've got a much stiffer piece of well, it's not even fabric really, it's a stabilizer, which is much stiffer. So that's everything you get in the kit. And then really usefully, I'll just put this back in. I'll pause it actually while I do that. There we go, it's back in the box. Yeah, really usefully, they also tell you what else you might want to use in order to help you make the bag. So you've got sewing clips and pins, which I've already got, chalk or removable marking pen I've got, basting spray. So I didn't have any of this, so I went into town the other day and I bought some of this, which is a temporary repositionable adhesive. So I've now got some of that. And then it says basting tape or glue. Well, I've got basting tape because I use it on hems. Paper tape, I don't have any, but I do have, well, I suppose it's like that non-sticky sellotape, so I think that'll probably be fine. Stiletto, I think they probably mean an awl, and I think I've got one of those. Zipper foot I have, and then it says rivets inside, and it didn't, I don't think, on the box. And no, it didn't. So we'll see. Maybe I'll see if I can get some rivets. And the other thing it suggests on the front of the box is a Teflon sewing machine foot, which I don't have. And I've had a look online, and for my machine, which is a Janome Atelier 7, I think in the United States is called a Skyline 7. You can get Teflon feet, and you can also get a Teflon needle plate. They're called UltraGlide rather than Teflon. And I found them as a set. So because one of my other Christmas presents was some money from my mum, I decided that I'd spend some of that on the foot and the plate as a package. And I hesitated because you can get the foot without the plate, but then I decided that if I'd felt I needed the plate, and if I enjoy doing this and I want to do either bag making or sew with faux leather for anything else, I would have to order the plate with a second foot. And I actually found it at a supplier for less than you have to pay on the Janome website. So I'll put the link down below. And I was hoping it would be here by now, because I paid for guaranteed next day delivery by courier, and they've now said it's coming tomorrow morning, should have been here today. But I guess that's not too bad in the grand scheme of things. So I'll show you that next time round. So I hopefully have then got everything I need. So although I'm not going to start this in the next couple of weeks, at least I've pretty much got everything I need so that when I'm ready to start it, I can get on with it. And I would like to do it while it's still winter, spring, because of the colours of the bag. So looking forward to doing that, and huge thanks to my lovely hubby for buying it for me for Christmas. Okay, let's pause this while I just put this away. Okay, so I'm back after a minor accident with my phone dropping off the tripod and ending the previous video, but it's fine, and it's probably actually a lot better because smaller videos upload more easily, and I'll stitch them together in iMovie. So that's all the stuff that I've actually got. I did also, with my Christmas money, order a couple of patterns which are currently on sale. But I don't have absolutely imminent plans to make them, but because they're on sale and because I wanted them, I bought them. So one of them is the Sew Over It Estelle dress, which is quite new, came out not that long ago, probably in the last 2-3 months. And it's a knit faux wrap dress from Sew Over It. So if I can, I'll pop a picture up here. And I just really like the dress. It reminds me a bit of the Kielo wrap dress, which I own. But I wonder if it just creates a bit less bulk in terms of the ties, because it ties at the side instead of at the back or the front. So I'm wondering if I might prefer the shape of that on me. So I ordered that, and I ordered it with the... they had a discount on the printing of the pattern on A0 as well, so I've ordered the size I want and also the PDF printout of that. And then, but you get the whole size, you get sizes 6 to 30 irrespective of which size you choose to print, but they split the printout bit, if that makes sense. So that's on order, and I've also ordered, and it comes as a PDF, and Jess, So What If I Sew, if you're watching this vlog, I'm blaming you entirely for this, because I saw yours and I'm just like, no, I have to have that pattern. And it's the Tammy handmade Mila jumper, not sure which way it's pronounced, but I saw Jess in hers and it just looks fab. So it's kind of dropped shoulders, slouchy sweater. So again, I'll pop a picture up there. And although I haven't got imminent plans to make it, as in, you know, in the next month. It won't be long before I do, because I really like it, and it also looks to be a really quick make. So I bought those, but I've been really good because there's lots of fabric sales on at the minute, and although I keep looking at some rib knit to do the mylar, I haven't bought any yet, and I'm hoping not to, because one of the things I really want to do is progress putting my fabric and my patterns onto Stash Hub to stop me buying stuff I don't need, because I really am in danger of doing that at the minute. So I haven't bought any fabric since I last spoke to you. So fingers crossed it will stay that way for a little while. Okay, so I said to you, at least I think I said to you at the beginning of this video, I'm really rusty, and I've recorded this, or certainly the beginning bit of this, about 3 or 4 times, so I can't remember which take I said it on. But I'm actually lucky enough that I'm not going back to work until the 9th of January, and things have now settled down for us in that we're not seeing family over Christmas. We're also not seeing the friend that we usually see over Christmas for various reasons. So we're going to be at home, and even if we thought about going away, because the cat's been poorly, I don't think we're going to. We don't want to subject him to a cattery when he's just been ill. So by and large, I'm going to be around. So hopefully I'll get some nice time to spend with my husband. We might be able to go out for the odd day or do stuff, watch a bit of TV, eat all the wrong things, etc. But I am going to have more sewing time, she says. So I have decided that I have got far too many things that are cut out and works in progress, which for various reasons I just haven't got on with and haven't finished. So I have made myself a rule. So this isn't one of my sewing goals. This is for 2023, which I will talk about in another video. This is just a rule that says, Laura, you have to do something about this situation before it gets too out of hand. So I have made myself a rule that for the foreseeable future, I am not allowed to cut out new garments or items until I've sewn up what I've already got cut out. But there are 4 possible exceptions to that, which I'll talk about at the end, which sounds like quite a lot, maybe 5, but actually isn't, as you'll see in a minute. So what does that mean? So what have I actually got as works in progress? Right, so I've got the dress, which I've just shown you, so I'm hoping that I'll finish that today or tomorrow at the latest. So that one almost doesn't count because that was just a bit of a quick Christmas make, but nevertheless it's cut out, has to be finished. So that's the first one. The second one is my jacket for my collaboration with the lovely Jess from So What If I Sew. So I mentioned to you before, that's the jacket, you've seen it before, there you go. Except I'm doing welt pockets instead of patch pockets, which is taken from another pattern in the same book that uses the same pattern pieces. So that's the jacket, and I mentioned to you that I think I mentioned to you again, I can't remember which take I said it in, that I had managed to cut out of the lining, and you might remember if you've seen my previous vlogs, so I'll link my introductory vlog and Jess's introductory vlog in the description below, that I was hoping to be able to use some lining that had been given to me by a kind neighbour, and I was looking at red, which I didn't have as much of, and I was looking at a kind of greeny blue, which I had much more of. But I managed, and all of those of you who said you liked the red will be happy to get it out of the red. Just, I had nothing left of that red, just a few scraps. So I did actually manage to do that, and one of my next steps is, I still haven't cut out the main fabric, but also I need to overlock bits of lining because it does fray fairly horribly. So the next thing. So I'm not necessarily going to progress that all the way to a conclusion straight away, but I do need to cut out the main pieces. I need to overlock the lining. I'd like to get on with construction, and I need to also cut out bits. There's quite a lot of it needs interfacing. So I want to make some progress on that. And then way back in April, I was trying to do the Selfless Sew April challenge. And I cut out a whole load of clothes for children of work colleagues. And I have now finished one of them, and that's gone off to the recipient, and I think I spoke about that. But I still haven't finished the others. Now, fortunately, I did cut them out in a size bigger than the children actually needed at the time. So it shouldn't be a problem. And these are for children in the same family. So the first one was born in lockdown, and I never got a chance to make them anything. And so I am making them. Which one's this? Is this the... Yeah, so the first one is the, I'll pop pictures in just to remind you, is the Anything But Basic Tee by Do It Better Yourself patterns. And so this is for the older little boy, and I'm making it in this fabric. That one, which is kind of circusy animals. So that's the first one. So this should be really quick because I'm going to do, you know, most of it on the overlocker. So that's the first one. And then the second one, in exactly the same fabric as that, is the same combination that I used for the one that I managed to complete. So that is Brindle and Twig Ringer Tee and the Petite Pegs by Patterns for Pirates. So just like a little romper set, really. So that's what's in that envelope. Again, all overlocker. This is a started Ellie and Mac short sleeve tee for my husband, which is being sewn primarily in black jersey, but also with sleeves of this fabric, which is a kind of matrixy style fabric. So this was a remnant left over from when I made him some pyjamas for his birthday, using the same t-shirt pattern. So I'll pop a pic in of the pyjamas there so you can see. So I need to finish that, sewing that t-shirt. So that's that. We are nearly at the end. Then we have this, which is a mashup of two shirt patterns. So this is mostly the McCall's M7575 shirt, and most of it I'm making using that pattern, but I am swapping in the sleeves from that pattern. So I've made both the patterns before, and all I've done is I've changed the arm side on this one to match the sleeves of that one. So hopefully that will work. And I'll pop in pictures of the two shirts that I've already done. So the M7575 is this one, and the New Look 6407 is this one here, the Licorice All Sorts one, which I always get comments when I wear. So yeah, so I've got the mashup of that. It's all cut out, it's all interfaced. It's been cut out and interfaced for well over a year, and I haven't done it. So it's getting made. And that is the fabric, and it came from Felicity Fabrics. So it's just this pretty navy flowered cotton. So that's that one. So there's a few. Those aren't all going to get done next week, clearly, but hopefully I can make inroads. And then the next one, sorry, I just suddenly thought I wasn't recording for a minute. And the final one, and I don't know whether I'm going to make myself finish this or not before I sew anything new, is my Tilde dress by Atelier Jupe, which I'm making in this Lady McElroy fabric, this one. So I did get on reasonably well with that. I made some progress on that kind of October, November time, and then stopped because I wanted to try and get on with some of the other things that I've been mentioning to you about, particularly the jacket, for my collaboration with Jess. But all that was before my relative got sick in November and I got called away again. It is really a summer dress, so I might just give myself a bit of an amnesty on that and just say that I want to finish it by the end of March. I might not force myself to finish it before I move on to other things, but we'll see how that goes. I'm making reasonable progress on it and I kind of ought to get on with it. And I know I'm procrastinating because I hate sewing with the fabric. I don't know why, I just am not enjoying it. It's my first viscose, and it's a viscose lawn, so maybe it's just that I'm finding it hard. I'm using my walking foot and I'm probably being my own worst critic again, but I'm not really enjoying it, and I probably ought to just get on with it and face up to the fact that I'm not enjoying it and kind of feel the fear and do it anyway. But we'll see. I'm definitely going to finish it because the fabric is way too expensive not to finish it, and I'm sure it'll look fine in the end. But I know I've been putting it off. So that's the last one. Okay. And then I mentioned to you that there were 4 exceptions to me saying I can't cut anything else out new until I've made what I've just shown you. And those exceptions are 2 gifts for my mum. So you might remember that I told you that I'd have bought some pink fabric for her to make her a hot chocolate top like my purple one, and then when she saw the pink she said, I want the lilac like you. So I've got the lilac, which I think I showed you last time, and that's now washed and ready to go. So because that's a gift for someone else, and because hopefully I shall be seeing my mum in January, I'm gonna get on with that. So as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't count because it's a gift and I want to get it made and given to her. So that's the first one. Second one is another gift for my mum. It's a Uvita top, and I think I've shown you the fabric before, but if I haven't, it is blue with ditzy floral. I'm sure I've shown you it before. And I hadn't been able to make that before because I didn't know what size I needed to make her, but I've now measured her, so I can get on and make that. So again, I'm not counting that because it's a gift, and again, if I can get it done by January and give it to her then, that'd be great. And then the other 2 exceptions may or may not happen. One of them is I have somewhere got a pattern for a knitting needle holder, which I think rolls up, a bit like those kind of jewellery rolls that you used to see before more rigid jewellery cases came into fashion. And I have an idea to make that for a friend of mine who lives in the United States, who I met on the Ravelry Knitting and Crocheting website. And again, I don't know quite when I'm going to do that, but I'd like to get it done and sent to her if I can find the pattern. So again, because it's a gift, I think that's okay, because I'd really like to get something off to her. I owe her a birthday present. So yeah. And the other thing is that I think I mentioned to you before that I have bought the Sew Over It masterclass on trouser fitting, because they had it reduced in, I think it must have been early December, and I bought it. So if I get a chance, I might try and do some of that next week. So obviously, if I do that, I'm going to need to create my trouser block. So I'm allowed to cut that out as well, because that's learning. So, and I can't do the course if I don't do that. So again, I think that's allowable. But in terms of actual new makes for me, no, it's not happening until I've got at least most of those sewn up. So that's it in terms of what I wanted to tell you this week. Next week, because I've got a bit of time, I did wonder about maybe trying to do a Vlogmas style video for a day or so. So let me know in the comments below if you like the sound of that. So a bit of what I get up to Not for a whole week, I shouldn't think, but maybe for 1 or 2 days next week. So I could do that. And I'll give you a bit of an update on how I've got on with the pile that's now sitting on the floor. And then whether this will be 1 video or 2 videos, I don't yet know, but I will do a review of my 2022 sewing goals, and I have been thinking quite hard about my plans for 2023 and what I'm going to do in 2023 and what I want to keep from my 2022 sewing goals and what I'm going to get rid of. I don't think I'm going to do a make 9. I think probably I need to take a bit of a step back and look at my wardrobe and think more generically than that, rather than set myself 9 garments. Because I know that if I do that, I'm probably going to pick things mostly to up my skill sets, not necessarily things that I need in my wardrobe. And definitely one of the things that is on my list to do next year is to make more use of Stash Hub and actually to catalogue the patterns and the fabrics that I have got, so that I don't duplicate. I know what I've got, I know what I need to buy, and I am a bit clearer and make sure that I don't kind of buy things that are repeats. I don't think I own 2 of the same pattern or anything like that, but I probably have a few that are similar. And I think also I sometimes think, oh, I haven't got fabric that I could make X in, and I perfectly well have. So that's definitely a goal for next year. So I'm going to end this video here. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's nice to be back talking to you all. So if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet done so and would like to do so, it would be lovely if you could please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm trying to find out how I can get a community tab, but I think the easiest way is to get to 500 subscribers. I'm now over 400, so it'd be great if I can get to 500 sometime soon, and maybe in time for my first anniversary, which I think is February or March. I think it's February. So as always, please leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you fancy a vlog. Let me know what sewing patterns and presents you got for Christmas, or what's in your forthcoming plans. And I'll see you all again very soon. For now, take care, happy sewing. Bye for now.